more or less.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we have a quorum. So we'll go ahead and call the village board meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gus,
Here.
trustee Jensen,
Here.
trustee Miller, trustee Addison,
Here.
trustee Siddick, trustee Wells. Did Larry say?
He did say here.
Okay. Yeah. Mayor Hooker,
Here.
Attorney Brogan,
Present.
and Clerk McDonald is present.
All right, and I failed to make my normal introduction now that we've called the roll. This is the regular meeting of the Village of Beach Park Village Board. This is January 28th, 7 p.m. Now that we've got that out of the way, would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Gina's going to sing the national anthem? Is it?
Our special guest, Gina Nelson, will be singing the national anthem. Sorry.
Miller joined us, so.
There's Regina. Let the record reflect that Regina Miller has joined the meeting. I don't see any members of the public, but I will make the call for any public comment on any agenda items. If there's anyone that would wish to speak, please unmute yourself and give us your name and state your case. All right, there will be an opportunity at the end of the agenda as well. Next up, we have our consent agenda. This consent agenda includes the following: approval of the village board regular meeting minutes from January 14th, 2021, finance report from December of 2020, public safety report from December of 2020, and the bills presented for payment in the amount of $60,366.28. Is there anything that the board would have considered separately? There being nothing, do we have a motion to?
I'll make the
approve?
motion.
We have a motion by trustee Gust,
Second, Miller.
second by trustee Miller. Any discussion? All right, not hearing any. Have the clerk please call the roll.
Trustee Gus,
Aye.
trustee Jensen,
Aye.
trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Addison,
Aye.
trustee Wells.
Larry, we're having a hard time hearing you tonight.
Move your lips.
Is he on mute?
He's not muted.
He's not muted, but it's
How's that?
we can hear you that time.
Yeah.
Better?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right. All right. Next up, we have the mayor's report. I have the honor and the privilege of recognizing an employee of the village for 20 years of outstanding service. Gina Nelson has been with the village for 20 years. Now, 20 years is like a lifetime.
It
Oh,
is.
she's featured so we can see her expressions directly.
Oh, come on.
Because we know how much she likes the limelight.
Yeah.
So Gina has served in multiple roles throughout her tenure with the village. Secretary to the mayor under Mayor Jensen, a receptionist for a time, Parks and Rec Committee, or department, I should say, code enforcement, public works since 2002. So that's been like forever.
Long time.
And water and sewer billing since 2008.
Yep.
I can remember a time when she wasn't here, but it was a long time ago. And for most of us, it's been the entire time that we elected officials have been around. So I can tell you that I think some of the things that might be notably missing from this is our newsletter and publication and all the work that goes into that, the pestering of staff and elected officials to try to get some content delivered so we can get the newsletter out. And just the nonstop monumental tasks, getting those water and sewer bills out and all the rest. So, but my first real introduction to Gina was at one of the Public Works meetings, I think. And I mean, I kind of knew she was around, and she was kind of quiet, didn't really say much, kind of, hid in the shadows. And then all of a sudden she's at this meeting and it's like, oh, now I know who's running the Public Works Department. Gene was listening to her. The rest of the engineers were listening to her. And I'm like, wow, she's kind of got it all dialed in here. So anyway, I'm sure that at least one or more trustees may have some fond memories or remembrances of some of those 20 years. And I think it would be a great time to share those.
Yeah.
with everyone. And I keep looking over at Mark because I feel like Mark might have something.
Well, it's interesting, the things that you read off and talking about her duties through the years. There was 3 words that stuck out in my mind of the things that you said: nonstop pestering and harassment. Those things all definitely apply. No, I'm just kidding. He did say those words. So but I can remember after one of my first, I think it was a Public Works meeting. It was after I was on the board. Regina Miller sometimes is like my conscience here when she tells me when I'm being inappropriate and saying things that I shouldn't say. And I don't remember what it was, but at our meeting, I must have said something to Gina, and Regina said, "I'm not sure that was appropriate for you to say during the meeting." She said that, and I said, "Oh, you don't understand. Gina and I have known each other forever, so she knows secrets about me. I know stuff about her, so it's all okay." We had some good times in high school together. She's not anywhere near as old as I am, but we were in high school together. So anyways, that it was funny when I first got involved with the village, and I came and I was saying earlier that she was the one that took my picture to go in the newsletter or the rap sheet or whatever you guys were up to. I don't know if we had a website at that time.
No.
But
stone tablets.
I just thought it was funny that Gina was the one taking my picture, and she had a look on her face like, "What the heck are you doing?" So it was good. But I do, anytime I tell somebody to call Public Works about anything, I say, forget the Public Works director, Pat, any of them. They just ask for Gina. She has her finger on the pulse of the whole organization, and she's always a good reference. I've called her many times to find out exactly what it was that was meant by whatever we were talking about, and she's almost always correct with what she
Almost.
But no, it's good. Congratulations on making it 20 years.
Thank you.
And hopefully several more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We need to discuss that part of it.
That's right.
It's at this point where you have to declare your retirement date.
Is that
So
it? I don't have to put it in writing, do I?
No. Just remember the clock is ticking. Yeah. Did any of the trustees have anything else they wanted to add?
I thought of something while Mark was talking, actually. Years ago in the Public Works Committee meetings, there used to be a spreadsheet that Gina prepared for the calls that came in. And I'm sure that all the information about the caller and the date and the nature of the call was accurate. But Gina had a separate column where she added her own personal comments, shall we say, about the situation and or the caller.
Yeah.
We had to decide at some point that wasn't quite necessary.
Wasn't part of the public record.
Yeah.
That's when the whole FOIA thing came up.
And as delightful and as entertaining as they were.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much for part.
What you're saying is you had a comment similar to what you said to Mark, Are you
Yeah.
like our conscience all the way around?
Oh, no, that wasn't my idea to get rid of that. No, no. Maybe it was the attorney's idea. I don't know.
Very cool. Very cool.
But we thank you, Gina. You know, you have what they call institutional knowledge now. It's
Yeah.
you can only get by being around for a long time. So,
Right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Institution. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Oh, institutional. Okay. Okay.
That's where we go
Oh, no.
after we retire.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I said the clock was ticking, and you probably was taking it that it was some kind of a slam, but actually the clock is ticking. It's sitting right next to me, and I'm trying to get this
Awesome.
into the light.
I can see it. It's very nice.
Yes. And the inscription, which is reversed on my screen, says Gina Nelson, 20 years of service, Village of Beach Park, 2020. And my understanding is this, well, we have to blame everything on COVID these days. So the reality is this 20-year milestone was a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So better late than never.
Better late than never.
It would be at this time when I would normally walk to the front and you would come and stand next to me and we would shake hands, and I might even, put my arm around you and we'd have our picture taken.
Pictures.
So
Yeah.
I hope this is being recorded, and I'm really, really sorry about all the fingerprints that I just left all over this, but I guess
Put her on full screen, stand next to the monitor, and I'll
Yeah.
take a picture.
then we'll just,
Oh, boy.
so, well, in all seriousness though, this is quite a milestone, and who'd have thunk, right? 20 years.
Right.
And I take it, since you're only 29, this is the longest job you've ever had, right?
Exactly. This
Yep,
is
yep.
the longest.
Okay. Very good. Well,
Well, thank you
congratulations.
very much, you guys. I appreciate it.
And thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Gina.
All right.
You don't have to sign off. You can stay around for the rest.
Yeah, because this is nonstop fun, I got to tell you.
As much as I would love to, I do gotta go. So thank
Okay,
you.
well, take your clock.
I will. I'll come get it.
Bye, Gina.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, then, after all that fun and frivolity, we shall move on to reports from trustees. And first up, we have our Finance Committee, Trustee Jensen.
Short report from me tonight, Mayor. Our next meeting is on the 24th, 6 p.m. and it's virtual as far as I know. We've been working, the main topic of our recent meetings has been how we can perhaps show some support for our food and beverage service establishments that have been so hard hit by the rotund gentleman from Springfield's edicts. And I think we should have something to present to the next board meeting. We agreed upon that at our last meeting.
Sounds good. And
That's all I have.
appreciate the work on that and the concern for our businesses. All right, moving on to Parks and Recreation Committee. Trustee Gus is in the house.
And it kills me that I can't say nothing to what I'd love to do, but we'll keep trying, because sooner or later, we know it's going to turn around the other way, folks. So
There you go.
keep your fingers crossed, keep praying, and hopefully it will happen.
Yep, spring's on the way. Hopefully we'll have a chance to get people outside and together again.
Definitely on that part.
All right.
Leprechaun's thinking about it anyways.
All right. Moving on, Planning, Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Wells.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just like to share some of our tidbits from our Community Development Monthly Report. Just want to inform you that in December, a total of $2,450 was collected in fines for the month, including 8 adjudication fines totaling $1,500 and 10 tickets totaling $950. Of the 33 cases scheduled for adjudication, 10 were dismissed for compliance of receipt of payment prior to the hearing. 4 cases were citations issued by Lake County Sheriff's deputies, and 1 was issued by Beach Park on behalf of Wadsworth. Also, just want to indicate that the department and the village emphasizes voluntary compliance by working with residents, businesses, contractors to resolve complaints, hopefully without fines whenever possible. And last but not least, staff continues to provide at least 34.7 hours a month of code enforcement um, assistance to the village of Wadsworth per our IGA. And that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we have Trustee Miller with Public Relations and Intergovernmental Committee.
Yeah, no report tonight, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Siddick's not here. Is there any report on her behalf?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then finally, I'd say last but not least, but that implies least exists. So we come to Public Works, Trustee Addison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a couple of items for Public Works under the agenda. The first one, we have another cell phone antenna site that's going to be built out on the west end of town behind the Speedway gas station. The thing that we need to do for this, it's kind of a unique situation. There's an unimproved right-of-way that abuts some village-owned property. So we're vacating the unimproved right-of-way, but it will continue to be owned, or will be owned by the village and leased to the provider for the cell phone tower. So it's kind of an interesting, it's not as much of a vacating a portion of the unimproved route right-of-way as it is a relinquishing to ourselves to be leased by a cell phone company. So it's not necessarily a traditional one, but I'll put it in the form of a motion to adopt an ordinance vacating a portion of unimproved Ruth Avenue right-of-way adjacent to village-owned property on Wadsworth Road.
I will second it.
We have a motion by Trustee Addison, second by Trustee Gust. Discussion. I think one way we could word this is we're basically taking the right-of-way designation off this parcel of property. Yeah, for all practical purposes.
Relinquishing it to ourselves
Yep.
to be able to, because you can't build a tower in the middle of a road. So
Right.
I guess it,
For some reason.
even though it'll never be a road because it's in the wetlands.
Yes.
But anyways,
Yeah.
very close to the wetland.
Right.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Jensen,
Aye.
trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Addison,
Aye.
trustee Wells.
Aye.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. That is ordinance number
3.
3.
Big number 3.
All right.
Okay, the next one, I'm trying to think of a short way to describe this one because it has had a lot of discussion. We've had a couple of situations where a village ordinance has been somewhat of a hardship to people who are trying to sell property. They're trying to sell property quickly, or they inherited that property and with no intention of living there. But by village ordinance, if there's a village-owned water main adjacent to the property, they're required to connect to that upon change of ownership. And in some cases, it means extending it so that they can connect to it if it's within 200 feet of the primary structure. So we've had a couple unfortunate situations where people have had offers to purchase their property, but then when this information is disclosed, or when they find out, or the title search or whatever for the requirement, it's halted those deals. The offers have been pulled and the people have not been able to sell the property until this gets resolved. So we've looked at them on a case-by-case basis quite a few times, and we pretty much always come up to the same conclusion, but it takes a lot of time. So we're going to add an ordinance that sets up a dollar amount of a fee in lieu of construction. So rather than constructing the main, they will have to pay for the construction of the main in the future. It'll go into an account at the village, and the money will be there when the main does need to be extended. And any people, if there's a second or third, fourth property that can benefit by this main, then that full dollar amount gets cut in half, or in thirds or quarters, or however that works out. And we did set this dollar amount presently, but it's due to be adjusted up or down depending on average construction costs in the future. You know, if costs go down, then these dollar amounts will go down, and I'm sure we'll look on this when we update the fee schedules annually. So that's kind of in a nutshell what it means. It's just a clear-cut way. It's direction for staff of how to proceed instead of having to have meetings and talk about it on a case-by-case and waste valuable time for the people who are trying to sell the property. So I think at the committee level agreed that this was a fair way to go about it. So I would make a motion to approve an ordinance adopting a fee in lieu of water main construction regulations in the Village of Beach Park.
We have a motion by trustee Addison,
Second, Miller.
second by trustee Miller. Discussion. All right. I do tend to agree with everything that trustee Addison said. This has been a source of frustration for a while. Hopefully this will streamline the process of the sale. The reality is the water system does exist and does will continue to grow over time. So, you know, in the areas where they are not served by water but adjacent to, this is going to continue to be an issue. So, all right. Hearing no other discussion, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Addison,
Aye.
trustee Wells,
Aye.
trustee Gust,
Aye.
trustee Jensen.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. That's ordinance number 4.
All right, that's the end of the public works business, other than expressing my gratitude to the crews, the snow that we had last week, Monday and Tuesday. High praise for how things were handled. I haven't heard of any bad incidents. Social media, there was quite a bit of gratitude. A couple people weren't necessarily happy. It's the same thing. I just cleared my driveway and the plow put stuff in it again. That's unfortunately unavoidable. It happens at my house too. So,
Yep.
but the streets, you know, it never fails. Every time you need to get out and go, I leave pretty early in the morning and I don't ever have a problem in the
That's
streets.
awesome.
And it's not like that everywhere. There's a few areas. The county does pretty well. The state doesn't. Some of the townships do better than others, but I always am confident that the village streets are going to be well taken care of in a timely manner. So I appreciate that.
And that was a tough,
that one. That's true.
that was a tough snow with all the length of duration of the snow as well as the amount of blowing. We did receive, I did receive a very nice phone message from a resident through Donna that expressed gratitude for the clearing of her street on Morton. They've been in the village for 50 years. Very much along the lines of what you just said, that it's always a good experience when it snows, that the roads are well cared for, and that the staff is friendly and accommodating and all the way down. So it was very, very nice.
Just out of curiosity, what Pat or Adrian, how many times did each route get plowed over that 24 hours worth of snow? Do you know off the top of your head?
I know, we were out there, we made 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think that's the key. There's a lot of communities that wait until the snow stops before they go out and plow it all once. But we've always made it a priority to get out there right away so it doesn't get packed down and then become an ice rink later on. So to plow everything at least 4 times, and then I'm sure there was a lot of specific calls, one-off calls to go here or there for whatever reason. But that's the key is getting it early and often, kind of like voting.
Well, and many of the complaints we get stem from residents that have pushed the snow across the street into adjacent yards across the street and left piles of snow and windrows in the street for other people to hit. And then we're tasked with trying to clean that up, which is, they shouldn't be doing that as well. So, all right. Well, I have nothing to report on behalf of the TIF committee tonight. I I see nothing under staff reports. Is
No
there
staff
anything
reports,
staff-
Mr. Mayor. Thank
All
you.
right. I'm not aware of any old business. Is there any new business to come before the board tonight? All right. Now is the second opportunity for any citizen that would wish to address the board on any topic. I'm not sure if anyone joined the call, but see if there's anyone else. If you would like to address the board, just unmute yourself and give us your name and state your case. All right. Not hearing any. I know we have no cause tonight for an executive session. We have
Mayor,
item
it's
12.
with-
Yes,
It's with great pleasure that I offer a motion to adjourn.
we have a motion by trustee Jensen to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Gust. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gust,
Aye.
trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Addison,
Aye.
trustee Wells.
Aye.
Motion carries and we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Mary Jo, you don't have any clothing hanging on your both legs.
Yeah, I do use it.